The sound of glass shattering ripped through the quiet house. Hannah froze, her hands trembling over the sink, a dish slipping from her fingers as she turned toward the doorway. Charles stood there, jaw tight, eyes burning with something she hadn't seen before, cold resolve. He tossed a set of papers onto the counter. They slid across the granite, stopping at her wrist. "Sign them," he said. She blinked. "What?" "The divorce papers," Charles repeated. His voice didn't shake. "You have 48 hours to pack and leave." The room tilted. Hannah stared at the papers as if they were written in another language. Divorce. 48 hours. It didn't make sense. They'd fought before, sure, but nothing like this. "Charles, what are you talking about? What is this?" He ran a hand through his perfectly combed brown hair, eyes darting toward the hallway as though he couldn't stand to look at her. "I'm done, Hannah. We're done. I can't do this anymore." Her chest tightened. "You can't do what? Be married? Be a decent man?" His lips pressed into a line. "I've met someone else." For a moment, the world went silent. Hannah's hands dropped to her sides. "You're joking," she whispered. Charles shook his head slowly. "Her name's Claire. We've been together for a while. She makes me feel alive again." "Alive?" Hannah's voice cracked, the word scraping out of her throat. "After 7 years of marriage, I'm the one who made you feel dead." He sighed, not meeting her eyes. "You've changed. Everything's about your work, your church, your people. You don't have time for me anymore." Hannah stepped forward, trembling. "You mean I stopped letting you walk over me? You mean I grew a backbone, and you didn't like it?" "Don't make this harder than it has to be," Charles muttered, rubbing his temple. "The house is in my name. Take your things and go before the weekend." She let out a shaky laugh, half disbelief, half heartbreak. "Before the weekend," she repeated. "You're kicking me out of the house I turned into a home for you?" Charles didn't answer. The silence between them stretched, thick and suffocating. Hannah stepped closer, tears burning her eyes. "Who is she?" "I told you." "No," she snapped. "Who is she really? Is she the reason you've been working late? The reason you can't look me in the eye?" His jaw tightened. "It's not like that." "Then what's it like?" Her voice rose, trembling with fury. "You think you can walk out on your wife because some new white woman made you feel young again? That's pathetic, Charles. You're pathetic." He flinched at her words, but didn't speak. Instead, he picked up his briefcase, walked to the door, and paused. "You'll thank me one day," he said softly. "This is for the best." The door shut behind him. For the next few seconds, Hannah just stood there, listening to the silence pulse around her. The walls that once held laughter now held the echo of betrayal. She sank to the floor, clutching the papers in her hands, the ink smudging beneath her tears. She had 48 hours. That night, she sat on the edge of their bed, staring at the empty space beside her. His cologne still lingered in the air, sharp and familiar. The weight of everything hit her all at once, the betrayal, the humiliation, the finality. Her phone buzzed. A message from Charles. "Please don't make this ugly. Just leave peacefully." Her breath caught. Just leave peacefully. Like she hadn't given up everything for him. Like she hadn't stood by him when he lost his job, when he fell into debt, when he doubted himself. She typed back, fingers shaking. "You'll regret this, Charles. I promise you will." Then she tossed the phone aside, burying her face in her hands as sobs racked her body. By morning, she forced herself to move. Box by box, she packed her life away, her wedding dress, their anniversary photos, the little things that once made their love real. The house seemed to watch her, each room whispering a memory she wished she could forget. When she got to the kitchen, she found the breakfast table still set for two. A half-used jar of jam. His mug, with the words "best husband ever" faded from years of washing. She picked it up, her lips trembling, then hurled it against the wall. It shattered into 1,000 pieces, like her marriage. As she crouched to clean the shards, the door opened. Charles stepped in, looking uneasy. "You're still here?" Hannah stared up at him, her eyes red but burning with strength. "You said 48 hours. I still have 24 left. He shifted awkwardly. I just came to grab a few things. Claire's waiting in the car. She froze. She's outside. He hesitated. Yeah. Hannah stood slowly, brushing glass from her hands. Bring her in, she said. Charles blinked. What? Bring her in, she repeated, her tone calm but sharp enough to cut. If you're going to humiliate me, at least have the decency to do it to my face. Charles frowned, then shook his head. There's no point in that. There's every point, Hannah said. You want to erase me? You'll look me in the eyes while you do it. He hesitated, then turned toward the door. Moments later, a woman appeared, tall, blonde, polished, with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. Claire. She extended a hand. You must be Hannah. I've heard so much about you. Hannah didn't take it. I'm sure you have. Claire shifted awkwardly, glancing at Charles. We didn't mean to hurt you. Hannah laughed, the sound bitter. Oh, of course not. You just meant to destroy everything I built. But hey, no hard feelings, right? Charles stepped forward. That's enough, Hannah. No, Hannah said, voice trembling. It's not enough. Not yet. Her eyes filled with tears again, but this time they burned with anger more than pain. You're both cowards. You think you've won, Charles? You think running off with her will fix the emptiness inside you? It won't. And one day, you'll remember me. You'll wish you hadn't done this. Charles said nothing. Claire took his hand. Let's go. As they turned to leave, Hannah's voice followed them. 48 hours, Charles, she said quietly. That's all you gave me. But someday soon, you'll realize how much I could have given you for a lifetime. The door shut again, and the silence returned. She looked down at the shattered mug on the floor, her reflection staring back in jagged fragments. Somewhere deep inside, a small, fierce voice whispered, "You will not break." The next morning, Hannah didn't cry. She didn't scream. She moved with a quiet intensity, each step a declaration. She was leaving, but she was not broken. She loaded the last of her belongings into her old SUV, the engine rumbling like a heartbeat in the otherwise silent street. Charles's car pulled up behind her, sleek and black, Claire already lounging in the passenger seat, sunglasses hiding her expression. He stepped out, his briefcase clutched too tightly, eyes darting between Hannah and his car like a man unsure of his ground. You're really doing this, he said, voice low. I have 48 hours, Charles, she replied evenly. I'm just using them wisely. You don't understand, he began, stepping closer, she's different. Claire. I can see that, Hannah interrupted, her gaze icy. You've met someone shiny and new. She's exciting, perfect, and of course, she's everything I'm not. That must be nice for you. Charles flinched. Hannah, don't do this. Don't. She laughed, sharp and bitter. Do this. Do this. Charles, you don't get to tell me how to feel after this. You handed me divorce papers and a countdown. 48 hours to erase me from your life. And now you're here trying to stop me from reclaiming myself. Claire stirred in the car, lowering her sunglasses to peer at Hannah. We didn't mean. Save it, Hannah snapped. You think you know pain? You have no idea what it's like to watch the person you trusted more than anyone hand your life to someone else. To have them tell you, go, you have 2 days. You have no idea what it feels like to live in betrayal, Charles. Charles's lips pressed together. I thought I was making a choice. You made a mistake, Hannah said softly, her voice cutting through the tension. And I'll tell you something, your choice isn't going to make you happy. Not really. Claire looked uncomfortable, tugging at her scarf. Maybe we should just go. Hannah's eyes met Claire's, sharp and unyielding. No, stay. Watch. Watch him regret this. Charles's shoulders stiffened. Hannah. She shook her head. I'm done listening. I've got work to do. Things to pack. My life doesn't end at your betrayal. She climbed into her SUV and started the engine. The sound was like a drumbeat of her own resolve. She drove away without looking back, leaving Charles and Claire standing in the driveway, the first real taste of emptiness gnawing at him. That night, Hannah found a small apartment downtown. Bare walls, a threadbare couch, a kitchen that smelled faintly of old coffee, but it was hers now. She sank onto the couch, the weight of what had happened pressing against her chest, and allowed herself to breathe. The first day was chaos. Boxes everywhere, memories scattered. A wedding photo tumbled from a box, glass from a broken frame cutting her fingers. Blood welled, and she bit her lip, refusing to cry. By the second day, the panic faded slightly, replaced by a curious clarity. She unpacked her favorite dishes, set up her small living room, and even hung a few pictures. She made the apartment hers, not Charles's, not anyone else's. Her phone buzzed. A message from Charles. "I'm sorry. I didn't know what I was doing." Hannah stared at it. Her first instinct was to delete it. Her second was to reply. Too late. She didn't send it. She left the message unread, a reminder of power regained. Meanwhile, Charles's life began to fray. Claire, who had seemed perfect in the beginning, revealed cracks that were invisible at first glance. She was demanding, impatient, and openly critical of his friends and his work. Small disagreements became fights, and every time she raised her voice, Charles thought of Hannah, how she had always been patient, strong, unwavering. One evening, Claire criticized the way he folded laundry. "Seriously, Charles? You can't even do this, right?" He froze, the words sinking in like ice. You don't understand." "I understand perfectly," Claire said, smirking. "I understand that you're a mess without someone to clean it up for you." Her words hit harder than any argument he'd had with Hannah. He remembered the nights she stayed up waiting for him, the days she covered for him, the countless times she had defended him and supported him when the world had seemed against them. Claire. She wasn't Hannah. She was empty. Hannah, on the other hand, began to thrive. She called old friends, reconnecting with people she had neglected during the marriage. She worked late into the night on a project she had postponed for years, and with every small victory, a sense of satisfaction and pride blossomed inside her. At a small cafe, she ran into an old mentor. "Hannah, is that really you?" he said. She smiled. "Yeah, it's me. I'm figuring things out." "You look different," he said. "Stronger. Happier." "I'm learning," Hannah replied. "I'm learning that betrayal isn't the end of me. It's the beginning of something else." And in those quiet moments, she felt the first real taste of freedom. Back in his sleek apartment, Charles stared at the empty space where Hannah's presence had once been. Claire was asleep on the couch, scrolling through her phone. He looked around at the perfectly clean, impersonal apartment and felt a hollow ache in his chest. He whispered her name. "Hannah." The word sounded strange, foreign. It carried weight, longing, and guilt. She wasn't there. She had left. And for the first time, Charles felt the sting of what he had lost, not just a wife, but a partner, a friend, a life built together. He picked up his phone, scrolling through old messages, photos, small memories he had taken for granted. Every laugh, every touch, every shared glance burned in his mind. Claire, beside him, didn't compare. She couldn't. And he knew it. 2 weeks later, Hannah was laughing in her new apartment, her friends around her. Wine glasses clinked, music filled the air, and for the first time, the weight of betrayal felt light. She looked around and realized something crucial. She had survived. Not only survived, she had flourished. Her phone buzzed again. Another message from Charles. "Please. Can we talk?" Hannah read it, fingers trembling, a rush of emotion she hadn't felt in weeks washing over her. She typed a single line. "It's too late, Charles. I hope you understand that one day." She sent it, then set the phone down, turning back to her friends, her laughter ringing louder than any memory of heartbreak. A small smile tugged at her lips. She had the power now not just over her life, but over her heart. And for the first time in a long time, she was free. Charles couldn't sleep. The apartment was silent, but his mind screamed. Claire's laughter from a half-forgotten dinner with friends, the clinking of wine glasses, even the casual touch of her hand, it all felt hollow now. He remembered Hannah, her patience, her strength, her fire. Every memory he had dismissed now burned in vivid color. He pulled his phone from the nightstand and stared at her number, finger hovering over the call button. Weeks had passed since she left, and yet the ache in his chest refused to fade. He typed a message. "I was wrong. I miss you. Can we talk?" Before he could hit send, he stopped. A voice inside whispered, "Too late." He shoved the phone back into the drawer, but sleep wouldn't come. Every quiet second stretched into a reminder that he had thrown away what mattered most. Meanwhile, Hannah's life had transformed in ways she hadn't imagined. She was thriving at work, reconnecting with old friends, and even picking up new hobbies she had postponed for years. Every evening, she returned to her apartment, a safe haven she had carved out herself. One night, she stood on her small balcony, sipping tea, watching the city lights flicker. Her phone buzzed. She glanced at it casually. It was Charles. She almost ignored it, but curiosity pried her attention. The message read, "I made a mistake. I can't stop thinking about you. Please, Hannah, can we meet?" Hannah's first instinct was to ignore him. But she paused, reading the words over and over. He sounded vulnerable, broken. Yet, she had learned that vulnerability didn't erase betrayal. It didn't undo the pain. It didn't erase 48 hours of humiliation, the shattered trust, or the nights she spent crying alone. She typed back carefully, deliberately. "We can meet. But understand this, I'm not the woman you left behind. I'm stronger now. I've moved on, and I won't let anyone erase that." The cafe where they agreed to meet was quiet, small, with soft music humming in the background. Charles arrived first, nerves twisting his stomach. He scanned the room, spotting her as she walked in. Hannah had changed. Her posture was straight, her eyes clear and sharp. She smiled politely, but it wasn't the same warmth he remembered. This Hannah was untouchable. "Hi," he said softly, unsure. "Hi, Charles," she replied, sliding into the seat across from him. "It's been a while." "It has," he admitted. I wanted to explain. I made a huge mistake." Hannah leaned back slightly, arms crossed. "I've heard that before, in my head, replaying the words you didn't say. Do you know what 48 hours feels like, Charles? To have everything you built with someone ripped away in 2 days?" His eyes watered. Yes, I do now. I see it clearly, and Hannah, I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking. I let myself be tempted by someone who didn't even matter compared to you. Claire, she was a mistake." Hannah's gaze softened slightly, but she didn't smile. "You think regret fixes anything? Do you realize what I lost because of your mistake? Not just our marriage, Charles, but my sense of trust, my sense of home, my peace." "I know. I feel it every single day," he whispered. "I wake up and all I see is her absence. Your absence. I can't, Hannah, I can't imagine my life without you." Hannah paused, letting his words sink in. She remembered the nights she had spent alone, the pain that had hollowed her out, and the slow, steady rise of strength she had built from the ashes of her heartbreak. She had been ready to crumble, and instead, she had grown. "I'm glad you feel that," she said finally, her voice calm but unwavering. "Because you should. But it's not my job to fix your mistakes anymore. It's my job to protect myself." Charles's shoulders slumped. He realized in that moment that nothing he said would erase the past. Hannah wasn't just a person anymore, she was a force, unshakable, untouchable by his guilt or apologies. The fear in him grew. He had lost her, not because of lack of love, but because he had betrayed the very foundation of what made their bond sacred. "I understand," he said quietly, almost choking on the words. "I don't expect forgiveness. I wanted you to know that I see it now. I see you. I see everything I took for granted." Hannah leaned forward slightly, voice gentle, but firm. "Then learn from it. Don't waste another person's love like that. Let my life be a lesson, Charles, not a door for you to come back through whenever you regret your choices." He nodded, swallowing the lump in his throat. I will. I promise." They sat in silence for a few moments, the weight of everything hanging between them. Then Hannah stood, slipping on her coat, calm and composed. "I need to go," she said. And for the record, I've never felt lighter in my life. I've taken my power back. Charles watched her leave, a hollow ache pressing deep in his chest. She didn't look back. She didn't give him the comfort of longing. She gave him finality. Weeks passed. Charles's relationship with Claire crumbled entirely. She left, leaving him alone with the echoes of regret. Every decision he made, every lonely night reminded him of what he had thrown away. Meanwhile, Hannah's life bloomed. She threw herself into her work, joined a local art class she had always wanted to try, and even started dating again, but on her own terms. No compromise, no excuses. Every small victory, every laugh, every choice she made for herself strengthened the woman she had become in just a few short weeks. One evening, she posted a photo to social media, her standing on a cliff, sunset behind her, arms wide, smiling. The caption read, "Sometimes, their regret is your rebirth. Keep your heart, your life, your power. Don't let anyone take it." Comments flooded in. Likes, hearts, messages of support. People related, people resonated, people admired. And in that moment, Hannah realized she didn't just survive betrayal, she had turned it into a story of triumph. Back in his apartment, Charles scrolled through social media. He saw the post. Her face, radiant, confident, unbroken. His chest tightened. He knew he would never have that light in his life again. He typed a final message. "I was wrong. I'm sorry." And then he deleted it. There was no undoing. No second chances. She had reclaimed her life, and he had no part in it. Hannah didn't see it, didn't need to. She had already moved forward. She had already won without him, without his apologies, without his regrets. Weeks later, Hannah looked out over the city from her balcony. The sun was rising, casting golden light across the skyline. She felt a small thrill of excitement, not for revenge, not for validation, but for the life she was creating, one she had chosen entirely for herself. She smiled, feeling a weight lift from her shoulders. The betrayal, the heartbreak, the 48-hour countdown, it had all led to this moment. She was free, strong, empowered, and unstoppable. And deep down, she knew one truth that no one could take away. Charles had given her a gift he never meant to give. He had given her the chance to discover herself, to rise, to reclaim her power. And she had taken it. If you've ever been betrayed, left heartbroken, or told your time was up, remember Hannah's story. You have the power to rise, to reclaim your life, and to turn pain into strength. If you liked this story and want more dramatic real-life stories of heartbreak, revenge, and empowerment, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment below about a time you overcame betrayal. You might inspire someone else to rise from their own ashes, because sometimes, their regret is your rebirth. And your story is only beginning.